How's it going, everyone, and welcome to another Icon A5 video in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. This is a supplemental video to the cold and dark start to cruise and the cruise to shut down checklists that were done on land. Links to those videos down in the description and probably going to be carded up in the top right. This is just for the water portion. So, with that being said, the aircraft is configured all the way through start, all that sort of thing, up until the point where you would taxi on the water to be ready to take off. We're going to go ahead and get airborne, we're going to land the thing, and that's where this video is going to end. Just a short little supplemental video if you want to check out how to shut down the aircraft or start up the aircraft for that matter. Go ahead and check out the land video for all of that information. And like I've said before, this should only be used for simulation purposes. This is not a substitute for actual aircraft training, even though it was developed off of the Icon A5 manual released by the company Icon, the producer of the aircraft. So, it's a really cool aircraft. The only amphibious aircraft at this time in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Hopefully they add more, but we will definitely see in the future. So let's go ahead and get into the taxi, the water taxi portion of our checklist. So it's really simple here. We're going to want to put down the rudder, the water rudder, for increased or improved control, and we're going to go ahead and increase throttle here, kind of, check our steering a little bit here. Make sure that our rudder and water rudder are working effectively, which it looks like indeed they are. We're going to go ahead and cut the power here. One thing to mention too about landing and taking off in the water, you are going to need a lot of space because there is no braking in water other than the hydrodynamic braking, which doesn't always slow you down fast enough as you would like in some situations. So we're going to go ahead and reduce the throttle to idle. Now we're going to go ahead and get ready to take off in the water. So what we need to do is we've got the checklist here. I've got it open. I'm going to go for the normal water takeoff checklist. The landing gear is up and indicating up. Our flaps are full at 30 degrees. Flaps on this aircraft are really only used for water and short field and soft field takeoffs and landings. Our water rudder needs to be flipped up, so we're going to wait for that to no longer be in transit, which that is complete now. And when we're taking off, we are going to put the throttle to max. We're going to pull back on the stick to minimize water drag, and we are going to retract the flaps when safely airborne faster than 50 knots of indicated airspeed, but below 75 knots of indicated airspeed, as that is the max rated speed for our flaps. Alright, so that being said, let's go ahead and let's take off. I've had enough sitting around. Let's go ahead and get this angled down our little channel here. Central Park and the Empire State Building will be off to our left as we get airborne. Let's go ahead and increase full power. Pull back on the stick just a hair. There we go. Got our nose pulled up. Skidding across the top of the water. And there we go. We are airborne above 50. So let's go ahead and pull our flaps back. And we can begin climbing. Alright, so let's just go ahead and get a little bit of altitude here. Let's check off to our left. I don't know exactly where Central Park is. Empire State is just slightly off to the left there on the support bar of our cockpit. Little pointy building there. Central Park is actually right over there. Wow, we're passing it right now. So, let's get focused on landing this bird now, though. So, we are going now to the approach checklist and the before landing in water. We are going to want to make sure that our landing gear are up for water and indicating up, which indeed they are. Our flaps are at a full 30 degrees, so we're going to go ahead and move those back down to a full 30 as we have magically increased our lift. Surprise, surprise, am I right? We're going to make sure our water rudder is up, which it is retracted. And when we're landing, we're going to want to have our angle of attack be this white line here. And once we land, I'm going to talk about this now, we're obviously going to have the throttle at idle. Once we get close to the water there, reduce it to idle. And we're going to pull the stick full aft, or as much as that is safe, to increase our hydrodynamic braking. Because, like I've said before, there's really nothing to stop you in the water other than the water itself. There's no brakes, so we're going to make sure we got a long stretch of water here to brake. And I don't think this is necessarily the way you're supposed to do it, but we're up pretty high, so I just cut the engine here at idle. And I'm kind of pitching down a little much, 5 degrees down pitch on the nose. Try to make this video short and sweet for you guys. I know you guys don't like to sit around and just watch me dawdle in the air. So let's go ahead and get down here. I didn't include the glassy water landing because the water in Microsoft Flight Sim isn't really glassy, but if you want to check out the official icon document release, there is one in there. If you want to include that, feel free to edit it. Just make sure to give me, I have a little watermark there crediting me with the initial checklist. So, all right, so now we're down here. I just want to increase power a little bit here so we're not flopping like a fish into the water. All right, we're down here close enough. Let's go ahead and kick back idle. We've got everything configured for landing, so let's just slowly drift on down. We're going to kick back here a little bit on the stick. Try and hit that white line. There we go. We'll bounce a little bit. And now that we're too slow to get any lift on those wings, we're going to pull back on that stick. And we are going to slow down, bring ourselves to a nice little stop. So now obviously if you need to taxi somewhere, we'll just kind of go through that. I don't really have a specific checklist for that. I don't believe. No, I do not. But you'd flip the flaps up like this, turn down your water rudder, and you're going to have more control over, you're going to have more rudder control going through the water. So I think that should conclude it for this video in the Icon A5. Again, check out the main video if you're looking for any of the other checklists, or for the short takeoff, the short field takeoffs, landings, the soft field takeoffs and landings. Those will be carded up in the top right and down in the description. Everything I use to make these checklists will be down in the description linked. I want to thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you haven't yet to catch all of the Microsoft Flight Sim content I'm going to be putting out. Plan on doing this with every single aircraft in the game as I am able. And drop a like so I know that you're enjoying this content. So again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.